أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا بنور الفهم، وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسهل أخلاقنا بالحلم، وجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك. صل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. 013.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, Maulana. How are you?
الحمد لله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Maulana. Hope you're well with the qudr of Allah. Maulana's sound is very soft.
Okay. And now? How's it now?
It's a little bit better now, mashallah.
Now? How's it now?
It's going a bit soft
Actually,
again, Maulana.
no,
It's still a bit soft, but a little bit better than before, but it's still a bit soft, Maulana.
Okay. Okay. Just tell me as I speak if it's still soft, right? And then I'm going to try and do something else.
No, that's fine, Maulana. I can hear Maulana now clearly. Alhamdulillah.
All right. Jazakallah. Right. Alhamdulillah, we were busy with our learning the Mazeedfeehi skills in Surf. We got up until skill number 5, and we were busy with skill number 5 at the end of our last lesson. Alhamdulillah. What we're going to do is, as usual, we're just revising these scales. It's like rote learning. We're going to say the scales. We are going to try to have our mind identify by our memorization of the scale where certain words fall on these scales, and what the connotations of these scales are. Right, like our first learning of Sarf, it was a lot of straight memorization of things, rote learning. Seemed not very involved, like Nahu like Nahu, where you had to understand concepts and stuff like that. A lot of just rote learning, memorizing scales and things like that. The objective of memorizing these things is so that we are able to recall and locate those words very quickly, almost instantaneously. And that's what we're really going for in learning these Mazeedfeehi skills. That's what we're going for in learning Sarf as a whole. Right? We want to be able to identify the forms of words, and from that form immediately understand some things about the meaning of the word. That's what we're doing in Sarf, both for the nouns and the verbs, right? So let us look at it. We're going to say our skills, right? We'll start with the first one, doing the just the Sarf Saghir. It's not actually Mazeedfeehi, just the Sarf Saghir, and then we will move on to the Mazeedfeehi skills. Right? So everybody can say it with me. Bismillah. 1, 2, 3, go. فعل يفعل فعل فاعل مفعول افعل لا تفعل. Just recall, on this first bab, it's actually like telling us, or it should be easy for us to identify the form of each word. فعل past tense, يفعل present tense, فعل مصدر, فاعل اسم الفاعل, مفعول اسم المفعول, افعل أمر, لا تفعل نهي. And that form remains or that order remains throughout our learning of the Mazeedfeehi scales. Let's say that one again. فعل يفعل فعل فاعل مفعول افعل لا تفعل. Now let's take a new word. Anybody have a new set of root letters to share with us? A word that you haven't come across before? Anybody have a set of root letters that you want to share? Last week we did la'iba. Let's see what we can do this week. Oh no, la'iba was in the third one.
I came across a word that I wasn't sure about. Bada.
Bada or bada'a.
Bada. Yeah.
Bada means bada yabdu means to appear. Bada yabdu to become apparent. But I'm not going to take that verb. The reason I'm not going to take that verb is because it has a weak letter at the end. Ba, dal, and wow. Those are its root letters. So it's not going to fit on the scale exactly.
Okay. I had a problem with the other scales as well because I got confused with this with this word.
Of root letters.
Yeah.
So it would be something like bada yabdu, and then it will probably be something like budu, and then badin, and babduun, and then ibdi, and la tabdi, or ibdu and la tabdu. So it's different because of the weak letter at the end. Right? But we'll do weak letters at another time, inshallah. Let's take we can take the verb bada'a. Bada'a means to begin. Then we'll have bada'a, yabda'u, bad'an or bad'un, badi'un, mabdu'un, ibda' la tabda'. So we can say it one again. Bada'a, and it means bada'a means to begin. Just pull it up here. Bada'a means to begin. I should actually pull it up on here so that you can see the meaning. Can you see it over there? Bada'a. Then there's an A that tells me that the present tense is yabda'u, and then the masdar in brackets is bad'un. So how would we say that scale? Bada'a, yabda'u, bad'un, badi'un, mabdu'un, ibda' la tabda'. And it means to begin, to start with something. Yeah. So that's a new word for the day. You already know that word somewhat, but on a different scale from the word mubtada'un. Mubtada'. You must tell me one day from which scale that is mubtada'. So anyways, so now we're looking at bada. Bada'a yabda'u bad'un badi'un mabdu'un ibda' la tabda'. Then we move on to the second verb. Everybody say that scale for me. Fa'ala. Fa'ala. Yufa'ilu. تفعيلا مفعل مفعل فعل لا تفعل. Again, فعل يفعل تفعيلا مفعل مفعل فعل لا تفعل. Let me just see if that word bada comes in the second verb. Yeah. This word comes in the second verb as well. The root letter is bada. It means to give something precedence, to put something at the beginning, to put something first. So let's say that skill. How will that one sound? Help me. بدأ يبدئ تبديئا مبدئ مبدأ بدئ لا تبدئ. One more time. بدأ يبدئ تبديئا مبدئ مبدأ بدئ لا تبدئ. One more time. بدأ يبدئ تبديئا مبدئ مبدأ بدئ لا تبدئ. To give something precedence, to put something first. And then we move on to the third verb. How does the third verb sound? Everybody say it with me. فاعل يفاعل فعالا مفاعلة مفاعل مفاعل فاعل لا تفاعل. Again. فاعل يفاعل فعالا مفاعلة مفاعل مفاعل فاعل لا تفاعل. And we can use that same root letters on this verb as well. بدأ. What does it mean? On the third verb, let's see over here, you can see third verb, that again means to begin, start, like the first step. And that's in accordance with our understanding of the connotations of the verbs, right? One of the connotations of the third verb is it can have mutuality or new meaning. So let's just look at it again. 215 here. Yeah, one of its meanings here is to take the initiative or lead. So it implies that there's more than one person doing the action. Yeah, the example that they're giving is بادأه بالكلام. بادأه بالكلام. That will mean to speak first to someone, implying that there is someone that will speak after, and that there's two parties involved. So let's say that skill. بدأ بدأ يبادئ بداء مبادئة مبادئ مبادأ بادئ لا تبادئ. Again. بدأ يبادئ بداء مبادئة مبادئ مبادأ بادئ لا تبادئ. Just give me 1 second. We say one again, one last time. بدأ يبادئ بداء مبادئة مبادئ مبادأ بادئ لا تبادئ. Now we go to the fourth verb. The fourth verb, everybody said with me. أفعل يفعل إفعالا مفعل مفعل أفعل لا تفعل. Again. أفعل يفعل إفعالا مفعل مفعل أفعل لا تفعل. And one of the most salient features of the fourth verb is causation. What would the meaning of بدأ be on the fourth verb? To do or produce first, to bring out first. أبدأ يبدئ. This comes in the Quran. وهو يبدئ ويعيد. Right. It means to do or produce first. So let's say that scale. أبدأ يبدئ إبداء مبدئ مبدأ أبدئ لا تبدئ. Again. أبدأ يبدئ إبداء مبدئ مبدأ أبدئ لا تبدئ. One more time. أبدأ يبدئ إبداء مبدئ مبدأ أبدئ لا تبدئ. And the last scale that we've done thus far is the fifth one. Let's say that scale. تفعل يتفعل تفعلا متفعل متفعل تفعل لا تتفعل. One more time. تفعل يتفعل تفعلا متفعل متفعل تفعل لا تتفعل. Okay, now you can see this this word here doesn't come on the fifth verb. We can put the root letters on there if we want to. It's just not necessarily going to have a meaning. So let's take the other set of root letters. You can take the root letters تكبر, to be arrogant, تكبر. Let's take the root letters تكبر. Yeah. تكبر يتكبر تكبرا متكبر متكبر تكبر لا تتكبر. Again. تكبر يتكبر تكبرا متكبر متكبر تكبر لا تتكبر. And that means to be arrogant. You can see on تكبر, to be proud or haughty, to give ease or swagger, to be overweening, overbearing. Okay. Any questions on that before we move on? On those verbs.
Maaf Maulana, in Surah Naba that we're doing, La yatakallamuna, is it on that verb?
Yes, that is exactly on the verb. تكلم يتكلم. And then if you go down the scale, you'll get يتكلم يتكلمون. Right? So you must remember when you're trying to locate the word now, last year from Sarf, where there was only one way really that we knew. We just identified if it was past tense or present tense, and then we went down the scale. Now what we're doing is you must be able to identify the first word in its scale by, and that will allow you to go across past tense, present tense, masdar, ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, amr, nahi. You must be able to go across the scale. And then after you identify which column it's in, you must be able to go down the column. So as soon as I hear the word yatakallamuna, I know it's present tense and I know that it's plural. So I can go across يتكلم يتكلم, and then I can go down يتكلمون. لا
Maulana,
يتكلمون إلا من أذن للرحمن وقال صواب. That's correct.
it is actually, it's easy to go down, but it's very, when we come across, it's very difficult to then reverse that, to do the reversal. You understand? So to take that back to the top, like what we practiced just now.
Okay, I see here we have a suggestion here. We must practice one together like that. Do you mean we must practice one where we say the whole scale?
Yes,
You can do
Maulana.
that. Let's take the word يتكلم. تكلم يتكلم. Or just pick any word on the scale that we had. Then we can see how we must go backwards. You give me a word, maybe from one of the Mazeedfeehi in the Quran. Pick anyone, and then why I'm telling you to pick one and not me just saying, because I want to go through the process of how to identify or how to locate that word. Yeah, I have some on the screen here. Okay, let's just take from the Mazeedfeehi from the Quran homework, right? You have to do Form 5 for homework. Is it correct? The fifth skill for homework. Is that correct?
No, Milana, I think we just had to complete the table. Last week's homework was just the table, the actual
Okay.
fifth part.
Okay. So, anyways, let's go to the Mazeedfeehi from the Quran worksheet, right?
For a
You're
moment
gonna
there, I thought I didn't do my homework.
Okay, you're gonna do. I mean, this will be part of your homework for today, right? This Mazeedfeehi from the Quran for Form 5, for the fifth scale. But I want you to just, you will do the rest of it for homework. I want you to just look at number 10 over there. I'm just picking one here. You see number 10, what does it say? تربص أربعة أشهر. تربص أربعة أشهر. Now, firstly, the word that we have in question here is the word tarabbusu. Tarabbus. The first question I need to ask myself is, which bab is this word on? Which form is the word on? Right? So immediately I can see there's already 4 distinct letters in here. There's a ta, ra, ba, sad. Right? Ta, ra, ba, sad. Which ones are the root letters?
Ra, ba, and sod.
Ra, ba, and sad, correct. Why? We already now have identified that some words, they start with a ta at the beginning just because that ta is part of the scale rather than part of the word. Right? How do we know that? Because when we learned our scales here, when we learned our scales, um, when we learned our scales over here, we saw that there are some scales that just start with a ta. تفعل يتفعل تفعلا. So now we know that ta, we're wary of it. Not wary in the sense that like scared or anything like that, but we know that when that ta is at the beginning of a word, it may be one of the of the root letters, like in the word taraka, yatruku. But it also may not be one of the root letters because there are scales that just have an extra ta at the beginning. Right? So it should be easy for us to identify. Right? The root letters are Ra, Ba, and Sad. Ra, Ba, and Sad. Look back at this word, right? So now, so now we identify what the root letters are. After we've identified what the root letters are, we can identify which scale it's on. How am I going to identify which scale it's on? You tell me, how would you think to identify quickly which scale this word is on?
I will look at the harakat.
Let us deep.
Okay. Look at what is extra in the letter. Remember, Mazeedfeehi, there's an increase in it. Right? So look at what that increase was. That's what we need to focus on. What are the increases? So now we can see if the root letters are Ra, Ba, and Sad, then what are the increases in this one?
The ta.
There's a ta at the beginning, and it
Yes,
has a
Maulana.
Ah,
Sukun.
shadda on the second root letter. So the shadda means that that letter is repeated actually. So there's a ta extra, and there's two bars there. So that letter is repeated, or there's a shadda. Right. So immediately I know which one starts with a ta and has a shadda. That's form number
5.
5. Right. Now I need to ask myself the question, right? Which column on form 5 is this now? Is this the Maldi, Mudari', Masdar, Ismul Fa'il, Ismul Maf'ul, Amr Nahi?
None, Mulana.
No.
The haraka is not consistent with the, or maybe I'm not going down the scale correctly.
Let's go across. Don't go down yet. We have the answer in the chat.
Mudari.
it's a masdar.
Not the
Oh.
master.
Let's say the scale quickly. First, let's say the scale. We know it's Ra, Ba, Sad on the first bar. So let's say the scale. We should be able to say it now. How would the first word sound? Tarabbasa. Isn't it? Tarabbasa. Tafa'ala. Tarabbasa. Yatarabbasu. Tarabbusan. Mutarabbisun. Mutarabbasun. Tarabbas. La tatarabbas. So which one do you think it is?
Master.
Masdar. Tarabbusan. Yeah, we just have tarabbusu. We know the ending of nouns can always change. It can have a an, in, un, a, I, u. That depends on what function is playing in the sentence. But
Okay, so,
everything else in the word stays the same.
so,
Tarabbus.
so the masdar can change, the end hal can change. Because that
Yes.
threw me out. I always thought it has to be a an at the end for it to be.
No. Remember the masdar, the ismul fa'il, and the ismul maf'ul, right? They are all asma. They're nouns. They're all the masdar, the ismul fa'il, and the ismul maf'ul. Those three columns on our list, those are nouns. And their endings change just like noun endings change.
But shouldn't they always have a tanween?
No.
No.
Well, they just have a tanween in our scale because that's how we practice it.
Okay, because I thought the quality of a noun is either a tanween at the end or an al at the beginning.
Okay, yes. From that perspective, that's correct. Yes. But remember, sometimes the word is light.
Ah, yes, true.
Right? So this word here in this example, tarabbus, is a light word. Tarabbusu arba'ati ashhurin. The waiting of 4 months. A waiting period of 4 months. Right. So that's good. Let's take another one. Must I do another one? Just pick one randomly.
Well, and after you do another one, can you do the going down the Mudari scale on the fifth bar? Any
Okay, I'll do that. I'm just going to pick a random word here. Let's take this word here. Tuqatilunahum. This is example number 4 from the third form. Tuqatilunahum. First thing you identify the root letters for me. What are the root letters of this verb?
Qaf ta lam. Qaf ta lam. Ta lam.
Lam. Correct. Qaf ta lam. Now you must tell me which form is it on. How are you? But don't quickly tell me. I want you to tell me, how do you identify? Identify what is extra, and then you'll know which verb it's on. So what's extra in here? Okay, there's an extra alif after the first root letter. Right? What else is extra here?
The ta.
Ta at the beginning.
There's a ta at the beginning. But now that ta, remember, sometimes a word has an extra ta, right? Because that ta is one of the extra letters. And sometimes it just has a ta because it's part of the mudari scale.
Oh no, the waw at the end would.
Right? That wow at the end also. But we know wows at the end is oftentimes just indicative of who the fa'il is. Alright? Like fa'al or yaf'alu, yaf'aluna. That wow comes at the end just because it's the fa'il. So I'm gonna say let's that is extra, yes. But let's omit that now because we know when we say extra wow at the end, what we're suspecting is that is mafa'il. Right? This ta at the beginning, we know it could be one of two things. It could be because it has a ta at the beginning like tafa'ala, but we can see this is not the form tafa'ala. Or it can be because uh, it's a mudari' verb. It's something which sometimes has a ya at the beginning. Remember, a mudari' verb sometimes has a ya at the beginning. Sometimes it has a ta at the beginning. Sometimes it has a hamza at the beginning. Sometimes it has a noon at the beginning. Like if we say the scale, yaf'alu, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, yaf'alna, taf'alu, taf'aluna, taf'alina, taf'alna, and then I have af'alu and naf'alu. So all of those words either had a ya at the beginning, or a ta at the beginning, or a hamza at the beginning, or a noon at the beginning. So that ta at the beginning, it could just be because it's mudari. And it
But-
is.
But
So
Malana, can't we tell by the harakat on that ta? Because we have a
yes,
because from the fifth
yes,
it all has fatha. Yeah.
good. Yes. So you can see whether that ta is one of the extra letters or if it's just there because of because it's mudari by the haraka on it. Not exactly. Um, not exactly, but that can give you an indicator. And we'll see why later today. So the root letters are qaf, ta, and lam. And there's only one extra thing here related to the form that we are convinced of is related to the form, and that is that there's an extra alif. Now, which bab has an extra alif? Only
Third bab.
Third bab.
third bab, right? So how will this word sound in the third bab? The first one, qatala, isn't it?
Qatala yuqatilu.
Qatala yuqatilu. Now, quickly, let's just go across the scale. Qatala yuqatilu. قاتل يقاتل قتالا مقاتلة مقاتل مقاتل قاتل لا تقاتل. You should be able to see that this word will fit nowhere except possibly by the mudari'. قاتل يقاتل. And then if you go down the scale, how will it sound? يقاتل يقاتلون تقاتل يقاتلن تقاتل تقاتلون tuqatiluna, and that's actually what we have here. This verb is tuqatiluna. Actually, no, sorry, I'm mistaken here. Let's go across the scale again. قاتل يقاتل قتالا مقاتلة مقاتل قاتل لا تقاتل. This is a nahi. If you go down the nahi scale, how does it sound? لا تقاتل, right, for the singular. And then لا تقاتلوا, plural. The feminine would then be لا تقاتلي and لا تقاتلن. You with me? Right? You following me there? So now you see how we located the verb, which column it's on, and then we went down the scale.
Yes, Malana.
Right? So we identified it to be the nahi, and then we went down the scale, and that's how we located the word exactly. Right? So okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a worksheet, inshallah, for next week, where I focus on that. So I'm going to ask you. Well, this worksheet actually does that already, but maybe we can just do a couple more examples like that, so that we can get accustomed to doing it more quickly. بإذن الله تعالى. So We'll do that
Maaf,
next week, inshallah.
Maulana,
Yes, Bismillah.
can you maybe put that in where we say you are killing them?
If it was you are killing them, then it would, or you are not killing them because there's a la at the beginning, then it would have to be la tuqatilunahum.
Okay.
You see, but the noon is not there. Like if we
Yes.
had to go down that scale, it would be yuqatilu, right? Or la yuqatilu. Then it would be la yuqatilu, la yuqatiluna, la tuqatilu, la yuqatilna, la tuqatilu, la tuqatiluna. So the noon has to be there.
Okay.
That's not the case, so we leave it out. Okay, so what I want you to do for homework is this Mazeedfeehi from the Quran, form number 5. Right? نفصل
That's
الآيات
misleading.
لقوم يتفكرون. Excuse me?
I say that's misleading because we just did on that. So it wasn't Bab number 5.
Which one?
The example we just did, Maulana.
No, the example we did was from Bab number 3.
Yes.
But for homework, inshallah, you must do this Mazeedfeehi from the Quran, form number 5. But I want you to try and go through that process like we did today. Identify the root letters, then identify what's extra so that you know the scale. The only problem is you don't actually really need to do that for all of these because you know it's on Bab 5. But just do it anyways. Right? And then just ask yourself the question, why do I know that this is on Bab 5? Because this is extra and that's extra. Right? And then you do the rest as we've been doing all along. Inshallah, next week we'll move on to Bab 6. And then we'll take it from there, inshallah. Any questions before we stop? No? Okay. Mullah Irshad is with us. Or is there a question there?
No, I just wanted to say shukran, Maulana, and we're looking forward to the worksheet that you're gonna. It's gonna be challenging.
Inshallah. I'm gonna hand over to Mullah Irshad now, and then I'll see you guys later, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, Mullah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته مولانا.
Maulana, I just got a suggestion. It's a little bit too short. Maybe we need a little bit, maybe 15, 20 minutes extra with you with regard to this.
Yeah, no, I'm to blame for that, man. I was late this morning.
No, but
have 10 extra minutes.
if we have that little bit of extra time, we can consolidate with you.
Inshallah. Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Maulana, on what Bab is Maulana Irshad's name?
You tell me.
The 4th Bab.
Right. Arshada yurshidu irshadan. Anyways. Well,
فهو ليس بمرشد.
They don't know that.
السلام عليكم.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. I'm gonna do the host, man. I'm gonna check.
Okay.